What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and man, I just want a simple life. I really do. This life, this world is just way too overcomplicated. There's so much bureaucracy, so much red tape, so many hoops you got to jump through, and everything is complicated. People are complicated, and it's just nuts. It's a mess. It's stressful. It's annoying. I've been dealing with identity theft. So some fool opened up a checking account in my name without me knowing, overdrafted it, whatever. I'm dealing with it. And I thought I got to the final step where I had to send that credit union a notarized letter telling them to close the account, whatever. And then that letter now got returned to sender, and that just pissed me off. It got me angry, it got me up, it got me going because, I've been sick and kind of like whatever, just low energy, but this got me up and going to make this video. And I'm just like, man, this world is just so freaking overcomplicated. Like, I'm renting an apartment, and at the end of the year, they try to raise the rent and all this stuff. So now I got to deal with that. And I have to fill out literally 22 different forms to, renew my lease. And everything you apply for a job, you got to do all these credit checks and this and that. And everything is just this mess of paperwork. And with this identity theft thing I'm dealing with, it's like, I'm the victim of this, but I got to jump through all the hoops and do all the stuff. And it's just this impossible task of bureaucracy. You don't know if the forms are going to reach the right people, or if people are really helping you or giving you the right information. So you have to take a lot of ownership over a situation that is completely foreign that you find yourself in. And if you just go along with what they say with all their forms and stuff, who knows, So it's just like, man, I've been in these kind of situations so much. Like, I had an old apartment I lived at about 2 years ago, and they wouldn't answer emails, and they're trying to charge me for stuff they're not supposed to be charging me on, and I'm emailing them. They're not answering the email. I'm having to email them like freaking 20 times. They're not answering, and I've had to just deal with this kind of stuff so much where you have just some horrible like bureaucratic nightmare, and just everything is just all this legal paperwork and all these forms you got to sign and all this and all this that. You can't just like roll up in anything anymore. Now it's just like it's so much checks, and they got to check your income for an apartment, and they're checking this and they're checking that. It's just like, man, like, this is nuts. If you want to do anything, you have to just go through this mountain of annoying red tape. You really do. And it's ridiculous. And then just beyond that, like, just the way life is, there's so much complications, just people are so complicated. It's hard to connect with people. It's hard to figure out what's really going on with people. It's just, and this world it's moving so fast, and with all this technology and stuff, and, now there's a new thing to verify, and you have to double verify your accounts and change your passwords. And it's just like, man, like, I don't even know what any of this stuff is. I can barely keep up with any of it, but it's just some new thing they're constantly throwing at you. And I'm telling you, like, they're not going to streamline it or make it easier. It's going to be more forms, more bureaucracy, more paperwork, more crazy stuff you have to sign. Like, anytime you try to, like, I don't know, to try some new app out or whatever, now you gotta now you gotta use this app. Now you gotta make a new account, a new password. And it's like we have probably hundreds of different accounts now. And we have to have all these accounts and all these passwords and all the credit cards here, the credit cards there. You can't keep track of none of it. It's just this chaotic mess, and it just is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're just building on it and building on it and building on it. And it's just like, man, I want to return to a simpler time when, you didn't have all this crazy busy stuff going on. You cook your food, you go out, you take a walk, whatever. You're not just living this insane, overly complicated, just this crazy life. But everything you do is going to throw you into the realm of complications, and people's families are all complicated now. People's relationships are complicated. I'm telling you, it's complications in like every aspect of life. And just doing things you got to do, just like getting a job or something. It's not simple. It's really not. You got to fill out this form and that form, and it's so like random. You don't know what the factors are going to be or whatever. And it seems like, things can fall off for no reason or whatever, and everything is just this complication, and then people are complicated, it's tough to get close to people. It's tough to know what's really going on with people. People are not really who they say they are. They got different agendas and hidden motives and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to just chill with people on simple terms and, just have an easy hangout, because people got all this drama and all this stuff and all these angles and all these agendas, and it's constant drama with these people. It's constant situations. It's constant this and that, and you can't relax and catch a breath, And that's what it is in this system, in this matrix. You can't relax and catch a breath. There's always some new, overly complicated BS you have to deal with in terms of just interacting with a community, building a community, like you got to really get involved in some hobby and some subdivision, and just making a new friend is not a simple matter. It's not a simple matter of just going up and talking to somebody. It's this whole overcomplicated thing, and you got to somehow, some way, you have to all click up and click together and make things work somehow. And it's just man, I don't know why things just can't be easier. That's just what I want. I just want things to be easy and things to be simple, and not to have everything just be some insane headache, because that's what the world's giving us, just an insane headache, And if you start to chase all this materialism and all this stuff like that, that's going to overcomplicate things, because now you got the car, the Audi, and it needs to go to the shop more, and it needs this, and it needs that, and you got to maintain it, and you have to, take care of all your stuff and maintain your house, and, you have to, if you own a home, you got to deal with the homeowner's insurance and this and that, and there's always some new freaking thing. There's always some new thing and some new problem coming up, and I'm at a point where I'm just I don't want to have to be hit with all these just weird problems, I don't want to have to deal with it, and not just with the bureaucracy, but with people, it's so easy to get ghosted and to lose a relationship and to whatever, I've had complications with that, where I'm in a relationship or I'm dating somebody and I think things are cool between me and her, and then something comes up and all of a sudden it's, all of a sudden that's not happening anymore. And I'm just man, what happened, But it was something, it's just I don't know, I don't know. It's you got to stand on your head too, and you got to be so, I don't know, but it's just complicated with people. It is. And I find not just with romantic relationships with women, but even with guy friends too, I find it's complicated. It's kind of tough to keep that friendship going. And if you have some different opinions or if you don't agree with things they're doing, then that's going to make complications. And it's you got to conform and be a certain kind of way for these people to like you, and that's not really how I am. I say what I feel, I say what's on my mind. I speak truth, and, speaking truth to people, they don't want to deal with that. But, that's just what I want to do. That's what keeps it simple, That really is what keeps it simple. And the thing is, I know so many people, and they just want to overcomplicate things and make a whole complicated big mishmash rather than solving root issues, and rather than, solving root problems and stuff like that. They just want to, make an overcomplication around it. And even with all this tech, not even with this tech stuff, especially with this tech stuff, it's just a new way to now you're scanning your face, now we're scanning your fingerprint, now we're scanning this, now we're scanning that. It's going to make it simpler. No, it ain't. It's not. It's adding new layers to things. And there's always some new way they're changing things. And it's just you can't get in a groove. you can't get in a groove. There's no groove to get into because the rules are constantly changing. The goalposts are constantly moving in the matrix and in this world, and it's just like it's tough to get a good shot lined up. It really is, and I really think part of this overcomplication is just to make life like just miserable and unlivable. It really is, and it's just like, man, like, I don't know, man. Things with these families are going to get real complicated too. And I mean, things with people, how people are politically, the politics is getting very complicated. It's just, man, it's becoming very complicated to be friends with people because of how divisive these political issues are and how divisive politics is. So it's tough to have certain conversations with people, and you got to be careful about what you say and whatever, and everything is just some complicated mess. Everything's a complicated mess, and I really do think about just getting out of the city, having a simple life, having a simple house, just having an easy, chill, day-to-day life. That's what I want. I don't even want to be rich or whatever. I just want to have a simple, chill, easy day-to-day life. I don't want to have to deal with drama and insanity and ridiculousness. I'm tired of dealing with it. I really am, But it's just constant stuff, You never, with people, it's like I never know who's really, I'm talking about in my real life, but I never know who's really rocking with me and who's really on my side and who's going to zig this way and zag that way. And, people are not straightforward. People say one thing, but they mean another thing. And it's just a whole, it's like everybody is some puzzle that I have to solve. And I'm tired of having to solve all these puzzles. Everything is some complicated puzzle that has to be solved. And it's just like, I'm tired of dealing with it. I really am. I'm tired of dealing with it. And I'm going to do what I can to simplify things and to make things simple. But it's been complications my whole life. Growing up in a family where the family dynamic was very complicated and things went unsaid, and it was very hard to know where you stood with certain people and what was going on with certain things. And, just being in a chaotic, complicated environment, That's what it is. Just this chaos just breeds complication. And the thing is these people come in and they make a big mess in your life, then you got to fix it, They're not fixing it. They're not really being held accountable to it, and it falls to you to have to fix it and to have to deal with it and to have to rectify the situation. And man, it's just annoying. It's just really annoying, and it just becomes hard work to have to just deal with this constant stuff. There's just someone's just constantly trying to freaking jam a stick in my spokes, That's what it is. They're constantly trying to jam a stick in my spokes, and with all this drama and just with all this just stuff, it breeds complications, I really just want a simple life. I want an easy life. I want a life just out in the country, chilling, I don't want to have to be fighting for every little thing and just being, having this drama come at me just from all angles, I'm really tired of it, and in terms of having to chase all this stuff and be this big cool guy and be rich and be this and be that and whatever, it's just like, I don't want to have to deal with all the BS that goes along with that. I want to be well off. I want to do well, but my desire is just a simple life. My desire is a life with as little drama as possible. My desire is a peaceful life. And this matrix, this world is trying to do everything it can to give me a complicated, overly complicated, messy, just unpeaceful life. It's trying to do everything it can to take my peace away. And I'm having to fight for my peace, I really am. I'm having to fight to have my peace and to be at peace and to have things good like that, I really am. And the thing is also, people are not taking responsibility and working together and communicating and doing things the way they're supposed to be doing. They're not. they're doing as little as they possibly can. They're just passing the buck to somebody else, and they're just trying to like push this mess onto you or onto somebody else or whatever. They're just trying to make this mess and push it onto someone else, and I'm saying in the name of God, like, they can clean their own mess up. I'm not going to clean these people's messes up for them. They can clean up their own freaking mess. And I say in the name of God, my Lord God, please give me a simple life and give a simple life to everybody watching this, please give us lives of peace. This overcomplications of the matrix, it's evil, it's not good. It's really not how we should be living as human beings. It's not natural, It's really not. But yeah, I'm going to end this one here. But thank you all so much for watching. God bless. It's much love. And yeah, may God bring us to a peaceful place and bring us to a place where things can be simple and we don't have to deal with all these insane complications. Much love, and I will see you all next time.